is Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast. I'm Mark Berry.
I'm Emmanuel Sequeira.
This week on Top Shelf,
our ine+nutrition player spotlight is with Ryan Larsen of the Kamloops Storm.
And the final part of our Bench Boss segment with Terry Jones from the Beaver Valley Nitehawks. He talks about what got him into and keeps him in coaching. Heading into week 21, the top teams over the past 10 games, the Grand Forks Border Bruins, Kimberley Dynamiters, Princeton Posse, Beaver Valley Nitehawks, Merritt Centennials, and Columbia Valley Rockies.
Your playoff scenarios: in the Eddie Mountain Division, Kimberley, Fernie, and Columbia Valley are in, with Crescent and Golden locked into a battle that could come down to the final game of the season.
In the Neil Murdoch, Grand Forks, Beaver Valley, Nelson, and Castlegar are all in. Might be a bit of jockeying, though, between Nelson and Castlegar.
In the Bill Olhausen Division, Princeton, Revelstoke, and Merritt have qualified for postseason play. The magic number for Sicamous is 1, a regulation win or a Kelowna regulation loss, and the Eagles are in.
And in the Doug Burks, only the Wranglers and Storm have clinched. Quesnel is a win away, while the fourth-place Mustangs, although in a good place, may not clinch until next week. Chase is still mathematically in it.
Ryan Larsen of the Kamloops Storm is our ine+nutrition player spotlight. The captain is in his 4th season with the Storm, and I asked him for his thoughts on how his team was playing.
I think as of late, I think they've been doing pretty good. Definitely been a lot of moves this year, and we kind of got a final roster down now. But I think lately we've really been going. I think we're kind of starting to gel together, and we've kind of had to hit the reset button a couple weeks ago and kind of have a fresh reset. But I think ever since then we've been doing really good, and I think we're starting to see what we can really be.
Williamson tries to keep it in. It's stopped by Sanford, and here comes the dangerous 2-on-1. Sanford. Oh, Larsen scores! Ryan Larsen.
Talk about how have the new guys meshed and helped the team.
Yeah, I thought it's been really good. That trade with KIJHL and the Grand Forks, getting Justin Moll and Wyatt Olsen's been good. Wyatt's been great for us on the back end, and Justin's been really good with us up front. And then obviously getting Hayden Celine from Kimberley, he's been really good for us on the power play. And Luke Rothfuss as well. He kind of knows Celine previously, so there's definitely some history there. And we're definitely kind of getting them involved and getting them in the mix. And I think, we're kind of starting to gel, and it's really starting to show on the ice.
I mean, in terms of depth-wise, what else do you think those moves have done to help the team become stronger?
Yeah, I think it definitely shows up with our forward depth. I mean, we got 4 lines that can go anytime. And then it's a good problem to have for the coaches too when you're trying to, decide power plays and penalty kills. And obviously there's some sacrifices that have to be made with playing time and everything, but everyone's willing to do it, and I think that's what makes us so good of a team.
You recently played in your 150th career KIJHL game. What was it like for you to accomplish that? And before you get into replying, I just want to say congratulations on reaching that milestone.
Yeah, it's definitely something I didn't think I'd be doing. Our teammate Kyle Sanford recently hit it as well. So having 2 guys, on that team doing that's pretty special. And also Ty Horner and Rende could have got it as well if they were with us at the start of the year. But so we pretty much have 4 guys that could have got it. And I think that's something special that I hold close to me is having 3 teammates like that I've grown with throughout the 4 years here, and have been teammates and have been close friends of mine, and it's something pretty special to have, yeah, for sure.
In what areas have you been focused on becoming a better player this season?
This season I've had to move into more of a centerman role compared to the last couple of years, so kind of just learning the positioning of that. Definitely, and becoming more of a defensive-minded player as well has been something I've had to prioritize. Face-offs as well has been a huge part of it. I think, winning draws is something I want to, have a big part of my game, and being able to be out there in the last minutes of the game winning draws. So just kind of, changing from more of an offensive-minded player to more of a 200-foot player has kind of been, I wouldn't say a challenge for me, but definitely an adjustment for sure.
Yeah, because I was looking, I mean, you're still nearly a point-a-game player. Yeah. But when somebody that looks at your stats, it would kind of look as though the production is down from previous years. But do you see as the stuff that you just touched on, do you feel that you have become better in the areas that you talked about with winning draws and becoming a better defensive player?
Yeah, I feel like, definitely the numbers are down, and, those last 2 years I've been playing mostly winger. But, I'm more than happy to step into the centerman role, and, even if my numbers take a little bit of a dip, that's fine. If we're winning games. And as you said, like, the face-offs and the little things and the defensive-minded play to become more well-rounded. That's definitely, an adjustment I've had to make this year. And if my numbers take a little bit of a dip for, doing little things right, and, cause little things win the games, and, I'm willing to do that.
And here comes Larsen, another turnover with Paulson with him. Scores! Ryan Larsen! And he beats Kamloops Storm. What a goal, Ryan Larsen!
Yeah, Ryan Larsen, he just kind of comes down that right wing and goes short side on Stojan. We don't see it from this angle, but that has to be a great play shot.
So this is your final season of junior hockey. What's in store for you after you're done and playing in the KIJHL?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. There's definitely some schools reaching out. I'm still kind of deciding whether I want to play or not. Brayson Dubé just signed with UVic, and I'm super happy for him to go there. So that's definitely an option, but I have plans to try to get into nursing school for next year. So that's definitely going to be a big conversation to have. We'll definitely have to see how that all plays out.
What got you interested in pursuing a career as a nurse?
Yeah, to be honest, it was just till this summer that I kind of got interested in it. I've always kind of wanted to go, the health and exercise science route, physiotherapy, stuff like that. But, I kind of took a look at, what jobs need to be filled, and, nurses fill that role, and it's kind of just working within a team as well and staying within that. I'm hoping that, I can maybe do some of the wildland firefighting this summer as well. With a couple of the boys on the team here. So kind of just, the team environment that I like about it. And, definitely jobs need to be filled, and it's a crucial part to the economy. So, I'm definitely excited to do that for sure.
That's Ryan Larsen, captain of the Kamloops Storm. Ryan, thanks for joining us on Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
The Players Spotlight is a presentation of ine+nutrition. Boost your energy naturally with Canada's best-tasting super greens by ine+nutrition. Abundant in over 50 antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, ine+ super greens will improve your immune and digestive systems, increase your energy, and enhance your mental clarity. You'll feel better overall, almost like you could tackle any challenge. Shop now at www.ine+nutrition.com and use the code KIJHL10 to get 10% off your order.
This is Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast, now available on YouTube.
On our Bench Boss segment, our final installment, talking with Beaver Valley head coach Terry Jones. Emmanuel asks him what made him interested in becoming a coach.
Oof, well, that's a good question. Being a competitor has always been something that, at any sport, baseball and hockey in particular, but I've always loved to compete. And when my playing career shifted from not being able to play anymore, which was in Germany. I was playing professionally in Germany. I started to think about getting involved in coaching. And actually, my first experience in coaching hockey was in Germany. I tore a ligament in my knee, and our club wanted me to stay involved and throughout my recovery, and they asked me to coach. And then I just started to take to it. And and then you get involved in minor hockey. I coached some Pee-wee, back in the early 90s. And to me, it was a natural shift to be able to be part of a team on a different level, but still have that ability to compete. To me, those are a couple of things that I find about myself that I just love. I love to build a team and to watch it grow. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. But I think it's just something that I've always really enjoyed is that process of watching kids grow and become a team that works together, plays together, loves to win together. The other side of it is that I got into education, and in terms of when you build a classroom, with your classroom, you're kind of building a team as well. You're trying to get everyone to find how they can be successful and find out what works for each kid and how they can feel like they're a part of things. And so I just think the combination of those two things in my life have led me into coaching and sticking with it.
What are the differences that you've seen in players from then to now?
I find nowadays that players they're really quite individually skilled. If I were to compare my team with the Nitehawks 24 years ago to my team now, and each individual guy, I had guys that could skate fast and I had guys that were strong, but I wouldn't say that each guy could, was as agile on their skates as they are now, and I just find players in particular, their individual skills, like I think they've worked on them a lot more. The game is just different now. It's more on skill and tactics than it used to be. You used to be able to be, it's pretty simple. And at the heart of it, I think it's still pretty simple. But I do know that, there's certain skills that can be taught and have been taught to kids in minor hockey and academies that have made them better. And I just, when I talk to players now, their IQ, and like I look at a guy like Hunter Hansen, for example, he is just constantly studying the game, and he thinks the game and talks about the game in a way that's like a professor. 25 years ago, I didn't have players like that. They just competed and they knew what to do, but they couldn't describe what they were doing. If that makes any sense. All in all, it's still a game, and you got to play it, and you got to find ways to innovate and work through to try and beat the other teams, and I think that you see that at all levels now.
So have you found that you've had to adapt your approach to players, how you coach them, and
for sure, Emmanuel. Like when I first started, we practiced twice a week, and that was it. Like twice a week. We practiced on a Monday night and a Wednesday night from 9:45 to 10:45 at night. And that was what we practiced. Like that was 25 years ago, Beaver Valley Nitehawks. That was our schedule. That was the only time we could get on the ice other than our games. Just because the rink was packed with minor hockey usage and figure skating usage, and you could not get on. My kids, they skated at 7 a.m. It was the only time you could get on. But now things with amalgamation and with the Greater Trail and Rossland, and there's a lot of ice. We share the rinks, and we've been now we practice every morning, and we practice 3 nights a week, and the approach is totally changed. I mean, our approach to everything, every detail. Back in the day, I can remember practices being, we bag skate guys for 15 minutes every practice, it was what you kind of did. And over time, you shift your practice. And I think that's just hockey. I think that's what's happened. And now I would say our practices are way harder, but we don't ever really bag skate. Your practice is a pace throughout the practice, and you're working on that speed and that conditioning throughout the practice. You don't just skate for the sake of skating. I just find the studious nature of hockey has changed a ton. And so the approach to working with players, you always got to work on the connection with players. But I just think that, nowadays we just spend a lot more time with them.
So then I guess, there's probably no plans of, stepping aside anytime soon, is there?
No, not really. I know for years and years and years I approached it as a year-to-year thing. The longer that I've been with it, and the greater amount of time I spend with my coaching staff and our executive, our organization, I really love what we're building. I love being a part of that. I'm not going to look too far ahead in my future, but for sure, I'm planning on being involved next year, and, we'll go from there.
Beaver Valley head coach Terry Jones.
This is Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast, available on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and on the KIJHL.ca website. Our thanks this week to broadcasters Cooper McLeod and Blake Mills.
Nighthawks head coach Terry Jones and Kamloops Storm captain Ryan Larsen.
I'm Mark Berry.
I'm Emmanuel Sequeira.
This is Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast. We're back in 7 days.